Hi everyone, it's the JS Living. I'm here again for another Watch Me Wednesday. I'm so glad that you guys have decided to join me again. Thank you so much for this. I'm really loving the support that I'm getting from family and friends from this. So I just hope that it continues and I can only go up from here because I'm starting from the bottom, making my way to the top. Okay, we might need to cut that later because that was seriously like the most corny joke ever. But no, I kid. Today you'll notice I'm wearing my SCAD sweatshirt. SCAD is my alma mater. So is Augusta University. I have that sweatshirt too, but I'll be wearing that one on a different day. And you might wonder why I am wearing it or not. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you why anyways. Today, I want to kind of talk about like getting your degree in writing, because while it's not technically a writing class topic, I feel like it's something that I have discussed with my professors in writing class. So one of the questions that I'm constantly asked by just people who know that I'm a writer or an author is that, and usually they phrase it this way. They're like, my parents told me that a writing degree is useless. Is that true? And if it's not true, how can a degree in writing benefit me? I think those are wonderful questions because I had those same questions when I was trying to decide on my career path and what I wanted to get my degrees in school. So I had to do a lot of thinking about that. And like I might have mentioned before, like I already had my sights set and my heart set on English, being an English major. When I was getting ready to go into undergrad at Augusta University, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm not gonna get creative writing, but I'll do journalism. And I was like, well, I still wanna get my creative writing degree. So I, at the end, decided to do like a double major, but life didn't go that way. Journalism wasn't going to work for me based on my schedule. So I actually decided to do a dual degree in creative writing and social work, which those social work classes were really great for me and they taught me a lot, but they were going to set me back from graduating by a whole year. We're told to graduate in 4. It's more typical to graduate in 5, I believe, these days. So I was trying to graduate in 5 instead of, 6 or 7 years. At the end of the day, I had to drop the social work degree, but I was blessed because my school then picked up anthropology. And so I ended up being able to do a double major in creative writing and anthropology, and that's what I have my bachelor's degrees in. That's like kind of like undergrad. And then I had to make a decision, and I had to do it quickly, on whether or not I wanted to get a master's degree. And the conversation that I had with one of my professors in undergrad was, if you go to get your master's degree, like, what are you getting it for? He said the reason to get it, or not just him, I had several professors tell me that the reason to go and get higher education in writing or English as a field is so that you can teach academia. But I was also told that it can open doors for other types of jobs. So I decided it would be best for me to go get my MFA, and I went to SCAD to get that because I knew that SCAD had one of the best writing programs. Side note about SCAD. SCAD is a great school, but I would suggest if you don't have the funds to go, then either wait until you do or find an alternative place to go, because while SCAD is one of the best schools, it's very expensive and it is a private school. Don't get me wrong, I love SCAD. I wouldn't have brought the apparel if I didn't. Like, I am proud to be a SCADie. That is my place. I've met so many wonderful people there. I got so many wonderful opportunities from going to that school, but I do have quite a bit of student loan debt from it. So, I mean, you kind of have to weigh your pros and cons there. The reason I went ahead to get my master's degree is because I wanted to have a chance to do other things within my field, and I wanted to see what a master's degree could open doors for. Now, I did go in fully intending to be like, okay, I'm probably gonna end up, teaching for like ever and a day. And it wasn't until I actually got into those classes at SCAD wherein I found out that, hey, there's so much more that you can do with a writing degree and an English degree than just like working in publishing or being a teacher. There are so many fields. Almost every single job in the world requires you to have like the basic skills that a writing degree can provide you. And the degree is versatile. You can use it in any job because every job that you're gonna get in life requires the ability to communicate. And the better that you can communicate with people, the better you're going to do at your job. So is getting the degree useless? I don't think so. I think that an English degree is very useful. It's all about what you do with it and what you make of it. My English degree opened up doors to, well, let me backtrack. I have had a lot of jobs that I wasn't necessarily happy about and that I wasn't happy at being in, but getting my degree opened up doors, and so I was able to make connections at those jobs and kind of use them to get jump started in my freelancing, which I'm not gonna say it's like super lucrative, but it's pretty, it brings in income, and it's typically there when I really need it. Like I typically get clients when I really need to bring money into my household. So like having those other jobs and then being able to tell people, hey, I have a master's degree and I can do all of these other skills because I went to SCAD, that really helps. So being able to say, hey, yes, I can write, but I can also edit. I can also do graphic design things. I can, do marketing, all of these things that your company probably needs. I can do them because I learned the skills and adapted them in order to be able to do it. I think that's a very valuable thing to be able to have. So I disagree when people say that a writing degree is useless. It's not useless. There are plenty of practical applications that you can use it for. And I feel like that also answers like how it can benefit you. It can benefit you because you'll be able to communicate effectively, and being able to communicate effectively is everything today because it's not about what you know, it's about who you know and who do they know in conjunction with what you know. The other thing I want to say is that having my master's degree opened up a door into a government job for me. So if you're someone who you're like, man, I really want to work for the government, but I don't know how to get in there. I'm not saying you have to get an English degree to work for the government. By far, that's not what I'm saying at all. But if you wanted to get like a government job that deals with editing or publishing or marketing, then having an English degree will do that for you. I don't know. I really love that I can say that I have an MFA. Another thing is, even if you don't want to use that writing degree to go into a field within writing or publishing or editing or marketing, let's say that you're trying to go into like law school or you're trying to go to med school, having an English degree is helpful for those as well, especially for law school. One thing that many law school students have in common is that most of them get an English degree or a criminal justice degree. They get one of the two. And then they take their LSATs, and people who have an English degree are more likely to do better on their LSATs than those who do not. So if you're on the fence and you're like, well, I'm gonna go be a lawyer, then an English undergrad degree is great because you can take that and then go to the LSATs and then go there. I feel like you could also, if you wanted to, you could go get an MFA and then transfer into a law program because you'll already have like some of the schooling down, but I think they're like a bit too different and I'm not quite sure how those would transfer over, but it is something that you could think about if that's the route you're going. And for med school, I mean, again, like those tests are, yes, you need a science background, definitely, but like let's say you want it, I've known people who like dual majored in like science and English, which I was like, that's really interesting and cool because I wouldn't have thought to do that. But if you're one of those people who are like, I really like both, then like that's a great way to that's a great thing that you can put on your resume. So I think an English degree is useful no matter what it's applied to. But if you wanted to get I'm not gonna say a more practical job, because you can get practical jobs with an English degree. But if you wanted to get one of those more traditional lawyer, doctor, I have a hard time thinking, maybe you want to own your own business, those sorts of things, then I think that having an English degree is perfect for all of that. So that's my take on it, and that's why I would get one. I have had students ask me that in class when I was teaching at Augusta University and GMC. They asked me like, okay, so you got this master's degree, but what are you doing with it? And my response is typically something along the lines of, well, I get to teach you guys. I get to come here and teach you about the wonderful things of English and the English language and how it works and all of these things. And so, I don't know, sometimes they ask me other questions and I'm not gonna say I have all the answers, but I feel like I answer their questions fairly well considering. That's my 2 cents for today's Watch Me Wednesday. Go get your English degree, guys. If it's what you wanna do it. It's fine, it's great. You're gonna love the classes, you're gonna learn so much. But if you guys have any questions about that, then I'll totally answer them later. Feel free to drop any of those questions into the comments box at the bottom there. I will answer them when I can. That being said, we're gonna jump into today's writing prompt. So I don't have a lot of time today, so I actually already wrote mine, but you can definitely after I read the prompt, you can pause the video and then decide to, listen to it later. Or you can just listen to me read out mine and then go and write your own thing later. For those of you who don't know, we work out of the Write-Brain. This is literally my favorite prompt book. The other places I get my prompts are Instagram and Google. So, and I'm sorry guys about the noise in the background. My cat is scratching at the door because he wants to go outside for a walk. So I'm sorry about that noise. It's gonna be there for a little bit probably. So just kind of ignore that as I finish talking. Like I was saying, the Write-Brain is definitely one of my favorite prompt books, next to Instagram, which has a ton of amazing prompts, and Tumblr, which has even more. I didn't get a chance to look at those Instagram pages that I follow, but I promise they will be in a link at some point. So anyways, today we are working off of page 34 in the Write-Brain. Page 34 is this very pretty blue one. Don't know how well you guys can see that. I hope that you can see it fairly well. If you don't have this book, that's perfectly fine. I'm just gonna read out what the prompt is, and then you guys can listen to what I wrote for it. Daydreamer on page 34, the prompt is to finish the story. You're going to start with, while the teacher lectured, I stared out the window. Again, it is Daydreamer on page 34 of the Write-Brain, and the prompt is as follows. Finish the story. Start with, while the teacher lectured, I stared out the window. So take your time. You can pause the video right here. I'll give you pause for 2 seconds before I read it so that you have a chance to write that. So, all right, so that was your pause for you to write. Now I'm gonna read what I wrote, starting with the prompt as usual. Okay. While the teacher lectured, I stared out the window and watched as the ground exploded. Every speck of dirt was frozen in midair, but I was the only one who saw it. Everyone else was still. I continued to observe, but there was only one other being moving. A man. He seemed to be looking for something. But then our eyes locked, and I knew that it wasn't something he was looking for, but someone. Found you, he said. All right, so yeah, that's that was my writing prompt for the day. That's what I wrote. I'd be very excited and interested to hear what you guys wrote for your prompts. You can put them down in the comment box. I'll definitely get to them and read them. And if you guys have any thoughts on other people's writings, feel free to post them. Just remember that this is constructive criticism only. Please do not go up there and start bashing people. That's not what we're here for. Writing is supposed to be fun and informative, and it's supposed to bring us all together. So yeah, just please stick with the constructive criticism, and I can't wait to see what you guys have. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my page and this video, and definitely follow me on social media. All of my handles are the same, the JS Living or at the JS Living. So yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Oh, and one last thing, do not forget to tune into my Facebook Lives every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. I talk about, I answer questions that are asked on this forum. I also do like short editing things if you have a paragraph or less. So still figuring out the logistics of how that works, but I would be glad to have you guys there. So again, don't forget to follow me on social media and click that subscribe button. Thank you and bye.